Hi there, I am back with another of Kelly's shorts, and today I want to talk about saying yes to yourself and what it means to say no to other people. This has been something that I have been processing through in the last few weeks, especially some saying no to people because a lot of my life I have said yes to people when my intuition, when I didn't feel that something was right for me, that I didn't feel that I wanted to do something, but I would say yes. As a gymnast, of course, as an elite gymnast, when I was younger, I really wanted to please people. I wanted to please my coaches. I wanted to learn. I wanted to do well. And so oftentimes it's really hard when you're a child to say no to the adults around you because authority figures are asking you to do things, and you don't want to disappoint people. You don't want to say no. You don't want to cause a fuss. And sometimes when you do, you can be labeled as difficult or stubborn or things like that. And those things stick when you're a kid, right? And you grow up and then you don't want to be those things. So you try really hard not to. And then for me, I would suppress my emotions and then they would eventually get to the point where they'd bubble up and then I just couldn't say yes one more time, or I would just get annoyed with people and I would have outbursts. And that's something that, I've had to work through, and as you age and get older, you grow out of it. I hope most of us do, but sometimes we don't. And lately I wouldn't say that I've been triggered necessarily because there hasn't been a specific trigger. Well, there was one, and we actually talked about it on the last full length podcast we did with the family, was that I was triggered that someone was telling me, my partner was telling me about, how to keep my towel on my head. And, that was so, the issue for me was so present at the surface that I got annoyed. And then we had a really good talk about it and a good laugh and all that kind of stuff. But for me, it brought about some deeper things too. That today, for example, I was going through my email list looking for some emails of people who have participated in past writing workshops that I've put on because I wanted to contact them and let them know that I have writing courses up online. And it's something that in another way, I'm putting myself out there because I've done video content and written content. And so this is something new. And anytime you launch anything new, I get that little bit of like doubt that's like, do I really want to do this? Because then I got to put myself out there again and that kind of thing. But what I really did was when I was looking through my contact list, I realized in the last 10 or 11 years that I've been in the publishing industry, how many people that I've met, whether it's been at conferences or readers, reviewers, people online, publishers that I've had, publishers that have closed. There's just so many things that have happened that I kind of stopped and I took stock, and it was another indication because there was a sort of memories with each of some of these emails, like, oh, who is this person and that person? Oh, and how did we meet and how did we get together? And there's been so many examples in my life of times where I've said yes to people when my intuition was screaming at me to say, no, don't do this. This is not a good idea. And to really look back at my life and see how many times that I said yes to other people and not yes to myself it can be a little heartbreaking, and it's a little heart-wrenching and feeling a little sad at how much I've put other people's wants, needs, desires, or even assumptions that I've made or that they've made about me or that people have given me opportunities. So I felt like, well, I had to do what they wanted, even though I knew that it wasn't going to work. For example, getting into voice acting was not something, it's something that I'd kind of thought about for, you think about it when you're a kid, you think about what it would be like to be an actor, right? I mean, who doesn't, right? Who doesn't as a kid want to star in movies and stuff like that? And it was really interesting because when I got the opportunity to do it, I really enjoyed it. And I've always loved speaking. I love presenting. That's why I love doing a podcast. And I do love being on a stage or performing, things like that. So I just really enjoyed that being able to read my own material, but also bringing other authors' books to life as well. And but there are some things where getting involved with other companies or where other people really want something and they want you to do it and you want to fulfill that for them, you want to show that you can. And I said yes to a lot of things. Like there are some poorly produced books out there that I have narrated for, that I feel I wish that, we could do those again, right? There's always things like that where you wish like, oh, I wish I could do that again because then we could do it better, because I've grown so much as a voice actor and a producer as well, and a sound engineer. And those were things that I had not thought that I would ever be able to do. Never mind that I was actually fairly good at them. But just there were some opportunities where I knew in my gut, but I made that decision from a place of fear. I didn't make it from a place of love for myself, from a place where I felt like, yeah, this is the right thing for me to do. I made it because I thought, oh, this is how it's going to put food on the table. This is how I'm going to, make some money. This is what I really need to do right now. And when you make decisions from a place of fear, I would often say yes to people when I really felt like, you know what, I think I need to slow down. I think we need to figure this out. I think we need to either bring other people on board who can do this, or let's just step back and take time to do it. And I wish that I could have done that or felt safe to do that, whereas I felt like if I would have said that to people, they would have been disappointed, and I really didn't want to disappoint people. And I feel like there's a lot of my life where I haven't wanted to disappoint people, and so I've often said yes to things when I really didn't feel like it was the right thing for me to do. And in hindsight's always 2020, right? Like there are things I wish I hadn't done even in my 20s, like hiring people at the job I was at, that I there's times where I would hire people and I'd know that maybe this wasn't the right thing to do, but I really wanted the help or I really needed it. And my intuition was like, I don't think this is a good idea. And I didn't listen. And then it turned out to be, have an experience that I didn't enjoy, that wasn't great. And I wish I would have listened to myself, but also having the gratitude for those experiences, because it's brought me to a place in my life where I've had those experiences. I know what I do want, what I don't want. And my kids and I often talk about the saying that if it's not a hell yeah, then it's a hell no. And I really abide by that a lot more these days. And the last couple of weeks have really given me an opportunity when I was presented with a business opportunity, actually a couple of business opportunities. And I said no to both of them because they both didn't resonate with me the way that I felt that was right. But it doesn't mean that I'm not pursuing them still, just not in that way. And that's been very empowering for me. And even in the last couple of years with my health issues and choosing to have two surgeries, and people were questioning, well, why would you want to do that? And why do you want to do this? And I knew for me, as difficult as those decisions would be and to recover and what I'd need to do and give myself time to do that was the best decision for me, that I knew that there would come a point where I'm at right now, even though I'm still recovering from one. It's not even 5 months yet. And it does take about a year or so to fully recover, I think, from that particular kind of surgery. But I'm so much stronger than I already was before. I'm making great strides every day with that. I'm being able to exercise and get more mobility, and I'm looking into things that I didn't feel would have been possible a couple of years ago, to move the way that I can and now the way that I can now. And it's really wonderful. And it's all because I chose to say yes to me and to figure out what it was that I needed and to try to get the help that I needed too. And it made me want to do this little podcast, as perhaps unorganized as my thoughts might be on it, is that I realized how much I would say yes to other people and no to myself. And when you switch that around and you start saying yes to yourself, that yes, I'm going to do this, and yes, I'm going to do that, and even the decision that I made to see a naturopath, which has been wonderful, to actually have the other kind of help to recover from surgery on a different level, on healing my digestion and being able to heal everything with different kinds of foods and slightly different kind of diet. I was already kind of doing it anyway, so it wasn't really much of a change for me, or it hasn't been much of a challenge. And it's been very empowering. And that's all that I guess that's the point of the entire thing, is just that saying yes to yourself can feel really weird at first, especially because I've had kids, and it's not like I always said yes to my children either as they grew up, but I do feel that there's so much that you put of yourself on the back burner when you have kids, because I had four, and I was a single mom, so there was just a lot that we were very, very busy with, and a lot that we were doing, and my kids can attest to that. And that I often really didn't put myself or my health first, or the things that I wanted, and I made a lot of decisions that I just wanted to make sure that we had the extra money, that we had, things that I could pay for the stuff that they needed. And I feel like I'm at a point in my life, and that I was talking with my financial advisor the other day as well, someone that I've known for over 20 years and have a fairly, good relationship with, and we can talk openly about finances and things like that. And to really start saying yes to myself. And he really encourages that. It's like, well, your children are getting grown, and they are making their own lives for themselves now. And now it's time for you to do that too. And you need to think about your future and what you want to do. And that's definitely the path that I'm on right now, is what do I want for my future? What are the things that I want to do? And how do I want to say yes to me? So many things I can think of, so many examples that I have where I said yes to friends, even small things like going out when I really didn't feel like it. I said yes to them and to the situation, rather than yes to me and what I really felt like I needed. And also to other, business opportunities, because your friends are doing it and you don't want to. And I really do think that FOMO, or fear of missing out, is a real thing, that we feel like if we say no to something, that, oh my God, what if we miss out on something? But you know what? I think we do. Here's the thing. I think we do miss out on something. We miss out on saying yes to ourselves. We miss out on feeling good about ourselves, and feeling solid in our decision, and feeling solid about what we're doing in our life, because we're so busy wanting to fit in, or not make somebody angry, or to be agreeable, or whatever. You can think of like a zillion different things why we say yes to other people. And we're missing out on ourselves. We're missing out on that connection with ourselves, because we're too busy looking at the outside and what other people are doing. And, well, but what if they're right? But you know what? What if you're right too? What if you're right about what's best for you? And you're not going to know if you are making those good decisions for yourself if you don't just try sometimes. And so I'm at a point right now where I'm recovering from surgery, but I'm getting back into things, and really working at not letting my mind get too far ahead, or try to overly plan too much, or overly think, and to feel. Because like I said, there's one opportunity that we're still exploring, but we're just going to do it, and we're just going to do it slowly, and we're going to build it, and not feel like we're pressed for time. Because I think that's where humans get a little caught up in themselves, is that we think that we're running out of time. We're running out of time to do this. We're running out of time to do that. There's so many people who start so many different kinds of careers at different stages of their life. And we need to give ourselves permission to do that if we have the opportunity to do that. Give ourselves permission that I can do anything I want at any time, honestly. And I've really been enjoying writing again. I've gotten into that. I've had some really creative days last week. I've been reaching out to people slowly about the voice acting, and not because voice acting is a very physical thing. and I love doing it, but I don't want to get caught up in doing things the way that I was before, because I would say yes to companies and try to do things, and then other companies wouldn't honor contracts, or there was just a lot of things where I would be working with people that they would just disappear too. And I know it's a common thing that I've heard other authors have problems with, that like voice actors just disappear in the middle of projects. And I've had that happen where people have done that. And then I felt bad because I've had to go to people and say, hey, like, I'm trying to do this project for you, but this person disappeared. And there's all different kinds of things. So it's really saying yes to myself in a way that is going to work for me, and to do the things that I enjoy and that I love to do without overly stressing myself or feeling like, getting stuck in my head about this plan or what I want to do. So I don't know. I wanted to put that out there for people and just think about, how often do you say yes to yourself? And what does that even mean to yourself? Can you think of those times when you thought that if you didn't say yes to someone, you were really going to disappoint them, and that you became responsible for how someone else felt, even though you're not responsible for how they feel, right? There's all those kind of little nuances and everything to it too. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, and to, get people to think about that. How do you say yes to yourself? How do you say no? And how do you say no to other people? How do you say no to things? Because I think sometimes we can get caught in, well, if I don't say yes, then what if someone else takes this opportunity? Well, but you know what? Maybe that is meant for someone else and you're meant to do something else. And how do you stay open to what the possibilities are? And how do you even know what the possibilities are if you don't kind of explore them? So it's interesting because I feel like the last couple of years I've really focused on myself and my health. And that's been the most important thing for me, to make sure that I'm okay, to be able to do the things that I want to do. And now that I'm putting myself back out there again, there's a part of me that's like, I just want to stay in the background. And with these new writing courses, it's kind of, you can't. So I would love it if people can go check out, just even to check out the sales page, the online store at collectivecreations.ca. And collective is spelled KELLECTIVE, Collective Creations. And just check it out. Let me know what you think. It's a work in progress. I'm slowly building my website again, building everything brand new. And you know what? It takes time. And I'm just trying to take that time instead of like rushing, because that's what I used to do, is like rush from one thing to another thing and feel overly busy and overly stressed. And I'd rather not do that. I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy all the things that I'm doing. So I'm saying yes to me and learning how to say no, and that when I say no, that I don't have to worry about how other people are going to take that. And I think I've spent far too much time in my life saying yes to things that I don't want to do. And I want to say yes to the things that I do want to do. So there's some food for thought. And I hope that you enjoy this. And, as always, thank you to those people that are emailing and reaching out to us and saying, hey, we love that podcast on, this certain amount of this topic. We've had some great feedback from people. Please keep it coming, because we do love discussing these things and we love putting it out there. And we've put out another full-length one too with my kids, which was so much fun to do. And I think we've decided that we're going to do it again. And, of course, we're going to try collecting guests and having some more people on. So thank you so much for the people that are tuning in all the time and listening to what we have to say and sharing with us. So thank you very much.